Hey guys, welcome back to Chiara's Travel Adventure. If you ever thought,
I'd love to travel long term, but I have job responsibilities, I have bills to pay, and I just can't afford it.
well, this video is for you because today I'm spilling all the tea on how I managed to travel long term without breaking the bank and yes, without having a nomad job. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's dive into it. The question I get asked the absolute most is,
How do you afford to travel long term all while having a traditional job? How do you manage? How do you make it happen?
well, I don't have unlimited money, I don't have a sugar daddy, and I have to pay my own bills. So, how do I manage to still travel long term for long periods of time without going completely bankrupt and still managing to hold on to my job? Here is how I make it work. I'm an English kindergarten teacher, therefore, I get summer breaks or holiday breaks, whether it's during the winter holiday or the summer holiday, especially. I simply put all my travels in those breaks. I take advantage of all my free long term time that I have to plan all my trips in that period of time. Of course, these also have a downside, which is that I will have to always travel on high season, which is really not very convenient. However, because I know way in advance when I'm going to have my break, I can plan it without any problem in advance, saving a lot of money on accommodation and especially flights. Of course, in some aspects, it's still not convenient. For example, I like to travel in Southeast Asia and Asia in general. However, my biggest break would be in summertime. And the summertime is not just hot in Asia, it's also very rainy. Therefore, sometimes it's not always the best solution. However, if you have this possibility, just take advantage of the time you have. Yes, I know sometimes you're not traveling in the most ideal time or in the best conditions possible, but it's still a great opportunity to travel long term. I definitely wouldn't waste it just because of the weather. Another important factor is budget. And that is, I plan my budget around my travel. Traveling for me is a passion, is truly something that I'm really putting all my effort and all my money into. Therefore, instead of spending money on impulsive shopping or buying expensive coffee or eating out a lot or takeaway, I save my budget. I save all year round and I put all my money instead of in things that are kind of more wasteful, like clothes or expensive coffee. I put my money into flights and accommodation. And you guys cannot even imagine how much money you can actually save by just skipping, let's say, a coffee per day. Now, I'm quite extreme myself and I like to cut as much as I can, not only because of traveling, but because I'm pretty much a sustainable type of human. So I do not like wasting in general, whether it comes to take out coffee or take out food or delivery food, but also things that are kind of more seasonal and we kind of feel like changing every year sometime. For example, clothing, because I think that clothes truly can last way longer than what we made them last. I have clothes that, yes, are quite old, maybe not as much fashionable anymore, but I don't really care. I'd rather spend my money wisely in things that truly matter for me. And in this way, I not just save on the budget, but I also help the planet. And let's be honest, guys, how many shoes do we actually need? How much coffee can our body take without going crazy? Every day, in some way, we can save a little bit, and that budget can go anywhere really, but why not put it into travel? That's what I do. That's where all my budget goes, basically. And then there is a slow travel method. So instead of hopping from one country to the other when I have a longer period of time when I can travel, I'd rather just stay in one country. That way, I don't just save on the accommodation, I save also on flights. And yes, it is also a more sustainable way of living and traveling. To me, traveling is not just about putting a number, adding another country to my list. I do not care if I ever get to see all countries in the world. It's not about the number for me. For me, it's about the experience and truly understanding a country, a culture. You've got to stay in the place. You've got to meet people. You've got to build relationships. Something like this does not happen in a week. in a day. Spending a longer period of time in just one country, that is my favorite way of traveling. It truly makes me build long-lasting relationship, and truly I come back with a more meaningful and a more deep understanding of the country and the culture I visited. So every year you will see that I spend maybe 2 to 3 months, as much as I can, especially during summer break, to be in just one country. I choose one country depending, well, kind of on my mood, sometimes also on the flights, maybe found a place that is more convenient rather than other. So I do keep in mind all those things, and I try to put just one place, maximum two per year that I really want to see and visit. And finally, side hustles. Side hustles are a really good idea to save extra money. For me, is tutoring. I'm an English teacher in kindergarten. After I finish my work, I will also be tutoring in English. That allows me to save extra money that I can put all in my travels. And yes, I do work hard. I do work hard all year long. However, in summertime, I am a missing person. Don't search for me, I am gone. Now I know, when it comes to traveling long term, everybody talks about nomadic jobs. So nomad work is, yes, a very convenient way to spend more time in one country. However, it's still working. And also, not everybody is into nomad life. Not everybody wishes to work from a computer all the time. Maybe we prefer more human contact. So I understand. I also don't have a nomad job and I still manage. If you want to travel long term, you don't necessarily have to work online. You don't have to have a nomad job as a must. You can also have a traditional job and still make it happen. Of course, there are some jobs that definitely allows it better than others. So let me go over the best jobs, traditional jobs that allow you to work and also travel long term. Teachers and professors. As you can see, one over here, that's one of the best jobs because it truly allows you to have winter breaks and summer breaks where you got a lot of time where you can travel. Flight attendants and pilots. Traveling is literally your job, and you can also spend maybe a few extra days here and there taking a break when you want, and you're basically traveling all the time. Seasonal workers. Now, this is a good one, especially from countries like Italy when there's a lot of seasonal workers. Places that are only open in one specific period of time or that allow you to have a short time contract, maybe 1 year or maybe just a season. I'm thinking ski resorts, beach resorts, or summer camps, or cruises also. If you work in all those fields, in all those places, you might have a extended period of time where you have to work really, really hard. However, then your contract might just last a season or so on. That way, after you work so hard, you have a lot of time that you can spend traveling and traveling long term. Also, because these jobs usually are more focused in the high season, you will have the opportunity to travel during shoulder season. So when you have less work, then you can travel. How convenient is that? Event staff and tour guides. This is perfect if you love working with people and you love a fast-paced job. Yes, working as a tour guide can be quite tiring. However, you're still left with a lot of time in other periods of the year where you can travel long term. And then there are all the remote jobs, the famous nomad jobs. For example, if you're a freelancer, you're working into marketing, into design, or into writing, you can literally work from anywhere with a Wi-Fi. Online teachers and tutors. Yes, you can also teach languages online remotely, therefore you can literally do it from anywhere in the world. Virtual assistants and social media managers. I've actually met a few people that do this kind of job. This way you can help build other people's business all while traveling remotely. So you can be anywhere in the world while doing so. Tech jobs. Think about software development or IT. All those jobs now, there are more companies that allow you to work remotely. When it comes to remote jobs, of course, we have to keep in mind that we're not just traveling, we're working as well. For me, I'd rather work very hard for extended period of time and then take a break. Literally have all my time, well, all I have to care about is traveling. Of course, I might have some au pairing, some volunteering. However, all I need to concentrate on the most is traveling. Some people don't mind working while traveling, some people do. So you do you and pick whatever fits best, your own style. Another great way to travel long term are work and travel programs. Now, those are so convenient, but they do depend a lot on the agreements between your own country and the country you wish to visit. Therefore, you might have to look it up in the embassy and the immigration website so that you have a clear idea of where you can go and for how long and what are the conditions. Working holiday visas are one of the best options. Some countries that offer these options are Japan, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. That way you can have a visa that allows you to work all while being in another country for an extended period of time, usually between 6 months to 2 years. Au pairing programs are another great way. Now, I have been an au pair twice already in China, and if you want to know more about my experience, about the agency that I went with or the life that I had there, you can watch the video over here to have a deeper understanding of what is au pairing about and what is the process to be an au pair. But basically, as an au pair, you're taking care of a child, maybe teaching them some language, yours maybe, or English, for example. So you live with a host family and you get to be with them all the time, traveling together, visiting places. And of course, you do have some free time that's granted, and you also have a little bit of pocket money. Accommodation and food is completely covered. Therefore, yes, technically you can be an au pair without needing any money at all. Literally, this is a free way of traveling. And finally, volunteer and work exchange. Now, this is also something I'm a big fan of. Literally every year, this is my favorite way of traveling. And honestly, it's not because of saving the money. Yes, of course, it saves on the budget, but what I'm looking into is truly spending time with local people, building real relationships. The truth is that whenever you travel and you're a tourist and you're a traveler, whenever you go to hostels or hotels, you're always a guest. You're a paying guest. Therefore, people will treat you as a customer. Therefore, the relationship is just different. That is why working and volunteering while traveling, I think, is the best way of traveling to truly understand the place where you are, to truly build those long-lasting relationships that will last with you a lifetime. Volunteer and work exchange platforms are everywhere. The most famous one is probably Workaway, but I've always traveled with World Packers. I've traveled to Thailand, to Japan, to South Korea, and I've always had great experiences. Therefore, if you're also looking to travel while saving money, but also truly experiencing the country, I strongly suggest World Packers. If you want, I have a discount code in this description box down below where you can get $10 off your annual membership. Guys, it's so cheap, and literally you get to travel free for a year, basically, at the price of what? A hotel room, not even a fancy one. And here's the big secret. You don't have to quit your job or go nomad to travel long term. Whether it's summer breaks like me or working seasonally or having a remote career, there are so many ways and so many times in our lives that we can take the excuse to travel long term. And if you can come up with more excuses, please do let me know. I'm always up for more excuses for traveling. Now, let me know what is your dream travel job. Drop it in the comments down below and let me know. And if you found this video helpful, please remember to give it a thumb up, subscribe for more travel content, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. And my next travel adventure plan is coming soon. Therefore, if you're curious to know where I am spending my next summer break, stay tuned for it. And if I made you curious about Southeast Asia, you can watch my guide to Southeast Asia over here. Until next time, happy travels. Bye.